Women in Science, International Day of Women and Girls in Science is this week, and it celebrates full and equal access and participation for women and girls in science. And once again, Dr. Nagesh Rajan, our Vice President for Research and Innovation, was not able to be here today, but he did prepare a message. So,
hello everyone. Welcome to the special Research and Innovation Training Institute celebrating women in science. I'm Nagesh Rajan, Vice President for Research and Innovation. This Friday will be International Day of Women and Girls in Science. As researchers, we know how important it is to diversify and increase the number of women pursuing careers in science, technology, engineering, and maths. That is the focus of this special RITI session, focused on women in STEM. As a researcher, I know how important it is to honor women's significant achievements in science and to put some much needed focus on girls entering science, technology, and math, STEM fields and STEM careers. There are many initiatives to recruit women to earn degrees in STEM, including here at Prairie View A&M University. Dr. Krish has invited some outstanding PVAMU women in STEM to share their career experiences. So thank you for joining us and enjoy the special RITI session.
we have joining us Dr. Krishnamoorthi, who is the Director of our Office of Research Advancement, and who works very closely with our researchers. He has
Karen, I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Can you all hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, welcome. And I applaud all the inventors and scientists. February 11th is the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. We celebrate your accomplishments. You may ask why celebration? Because you have crossed many barriers, especially in meeting different challenges, apart from work-life balance. Especially women in science have faced an enormous challenge throughout. I looked up some data from United States Census Bureau. Women in nation's workforce is 48%. But women in STEM is only 27%. It is based on a 2019 study. But more troubling is the fact that since 1970, this represents only 8% increase. That is nearly 0.02% per year over the last 51 years. That is very sad. The reason is the attitude exhibited by many male members. I can honestly say that because I looked up for some information, some anecdotal information, and from one Ivy League student paper, I found 3 interviews from female faculty members. And one of them, I will just quote some material which I thought was very striking and very sad. The reason you are able to get this internship was because you are a girl, one faculty member said. Like there are special slots reserved for you, not because you really earned it, but because you are a woman. This leads to the so-called imposter syndrome. You are led to believe you are not there because of your qualifications. That is very sad. And look at another faculty member in neuroscience. She attended MIT for both her undergraduate and graduate studies. And when she was considering a lab at MIT, one senior graduate student said, "We don't want you in the lab. We don't want women. It's like a locker room in here. We want to keep that going." So that is another sad thing. I bet there are many women who have faced similar situations. And yet another one who is a professor in applied mathematics. I am occupying a, I am made to feel I am occupying a spot that would be better suited for a man, or being told I received some recognition only because I was a woman. I am not proud of this now, but the truth is that in my public middle school, being smart meant other kids would try to cheat off my tests and that boys wouldn't like me. So it seemed easier to pretend I wasn't smart. So these are the facts. And of course, things have started improving, but we have a long way to go. So on this occasion, it is truly a celebration, and I personally salute to you all women faculty and women faculty in STEM as well as inventors. And I have invited Dr. Nali and Dr. Andrea Ashley as representative. There are many women faculty members whom we could invite, but due to time constraint, I have invited them here. Now, please share your experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that male members can take the hint and the required changes affected in the attitude. I think each one can adjust his attitude so that these things can improve. Opportunities are of plenty, but as you can see, right from school, there is a barrier, and you have all crossed all those barriers. Again, I congratulate you, and please share your experience.
Okay, thank you, Krish.
Dr. Lee, go
Can
ahead.
you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear
Hi.
you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Nali, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science. Actually, I started my faculty career after I got my PhD degree from the University of Texas at Arlington, and I've been working in the area of computer science for years. I think I'm lucky because I have been faced, criticism, like what is shared by Krish, but I do see, the challenges, as a female faculty in the STEM area, especially, the work balance, the taking care of the home. I feel more, I feel the challenge more after I have my daughter. And so during the lockdown time, and I just had my baby last year. So she definitely, she brings, joys to my family, but, I still need to balance, the teaching, research, and also taking care of the family and my daughter. So definitely it's more challenging. But for me, I have more I want to share, like, the pleasant experience I had. And what I see as a female faculty is the opportunities. Okay, at least when I joined since I joined PV, and I got, the equal opportunities. And to share with you, even before I officially joined, after I got offer letter, the department head, and give me an opportunity, because at that time we I think PV got, the grant from the Title III, and Title III grant from the Department of Education. After that project was directed by Ms. Williams, so he knew, our department head knew that opportunity. That's why he encouraged me to write a proposal. At that time, I wasn't very confident. I said, since the department head, that's a good opportunity, and I wanted to try. Okay, and so I was very blessed. I got, the grant from the Title III, and that one supported me for, I think, 6 years. And in the proposal, we proposed to develop a concentration. Okay, but at that time, I just got some teaching experience, teaching some security classes. I didn't have a full idea about concentration, how to really recruit students into the concentration. So these 6 years, and I have been working hard, you know, developing the courses, and also I got, you know, opportunities, you know, the grant opportunity, grants from NISA and NSF, which helped me build stronger record. Okay, and so I think in fall 2020, the department successfully established the concentration. So I'm the coordinator of the concentration. What I can see is our students, when they first, some students, they talk to me right after they join PV. And then at that time, they just show, oh, I'm interested in cybersecurity, but they probably don't know much about cybersecurity. After they taking some security courses, now I can see they got internship from HP, from you know, some other companies, particularly in the area of cybersecurity. So I'm very proud of our students, and I also encourage them. You know, I'm trying to you know, to set a good model, letting them see that it may be, you know, challenging, you know, as a female, you know, engineer, but if we work hard and we still have the opportunities to do what we like. And I really, you know, appreciated the opportunities I got from Pride Review, where I can, you know, I can see my own career development. And so, yeah, that's what I want to share.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. You're a role model to the students, and in fact, Prairie Review as a majority female population, I believe it is 60-40. So I appreciate your comments. I am glad you didn't face many challenges, but unfortunately, that is not the situation overall, as the data indicate. But your being a role model will go a long way. Thanks. Dr. Ashley?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. As Dr. Krish alluded to earlier, mine was not such a straightforward journey. I think I fit into the traditional track that most women in STEM face, according to Dr. Krish's data. For me, having graduated from Prairie View A&M with 2 degrees in chemistry, I started my I continued my graduate career at Texas A&M, and that did not go so well, to say the least. So after starting a PhD program there, after 2 years, I took a leave of absence because the environment was not conducive to continuing at that time. And this was in the late 90s. I think in my department, there was only one other person of color, and he was from one of the African nations. So there was not a lot to, to provide extra support at that time. But anyway, after my leave of absence, I worked for about 3 years in an environmental lab, and that sort of pointed me into another direction. So I left from the chemistry PhD and then decided to pursue a degree in environmental toxicology at Texas Southern. So all of my degrees have been earned at HBCUs. So you can just imagine that alone has put me in another minority category, so to speak. So there are some upsides to that, of course, and those are the ones that I tend to focus on. But I would be remiss if I did not say that sometimes there have been downsides to that, because a lot of times you're not received in the same, let me say, with the same attitudes as someone who has earned their terminal degree at a PWI or maybe an Ivy League school. So even among people of color, sometimes you're not exactly appreciated as someone who's at the top of their their game, so to speak. So the reception sometimes can be positive as well as there are negatives, because people perceive someone with degrees from an HBCU as being less than. It's not always said out in the open, but you can tell through conversations and how you're received. But I've never used that as a reason not to excel. To me, it gives me more energy to prove them wrong. And I always believe that to get even, as it were, you prove people that they're wrong about you, prejudging. So I think that has been the thing that has kept me going, is showing people that I can do what they think I'm not able to do. I remember as an undergraduate, my instructors were always there to mentor, and that was a major thing for me. And I think that's why now I tend to focus all my energies into my students, because I remember having people who had my back, as it were, was really helpful. And that's part of the reason why I decided to stick with it, even though all my experiences were not fun. But I've always been someone who likes academia, and my comfort place is there. I tried industry, it really didn't give me what I was looking for. And I think it's because the job I was doing at the time did not allow me to sort of think and be myself. So I find that place in academia. So for me, it's the best of both worlds. I get to pass on the torch, as it were, to the next generation by helping them with lessons that I have learned and trying to make their experience a little bit better than mine was. That's not to say that there weren't good experiences. They were. I mean, many doors were open to me through the care that I got from a lot of my mentors. And to be honest, the person who sort of helped me find the direction in chemistry in the beginning was actually my high school chemistry teacher, Mr. Johnson. He was a white male, but he saw that I had talent and he encouraged that. And he told me, well, why don't you do chemistry? You're good at it. And there are not many women of color doing chemistry. This is way back in the late 1980s, he said that. And I never forgot that, and it stuck with me. And I thought, well, Mr. Johnson said I could do it, so let me just pursue it. And I did, and I really liked it. And I found that I liked many other disciplines as well. So I'm kind of one of those minds that really sort of like, I wouldn't say a nerd, but maybe something like that. I've always been a bookworm. I was never good at sports. I didn't really like it. And I always sat on the bench when it's time to volunteer for something with sports. So I always loved books and anything to do with reading and things like that. I like mystery novels. I love Sherlock Holmes, anything that makes me think. I'm always gravitating towards that. I love crossword puzzles. I mean, they don't sound like a lot of fun, but that's my what I find enjoyment in. But to where we are now, I think all those experiences really helped me in focusing on what I'm doing now. So I remember so I started working in the Department of Chemistry in 2013. I came back, and I served as an adjunct for about 5 years. And I remember going on a trip once, and I was doing my reimbursements for travel. And I remember someone said to me, well, why don't you take the full allocation for the meal or something like that? And I said, well, I really didn't spend all that, so I'm just going to put down exactly what was there. And then the person said to me, well, you know, you're the lowest paid person in the department. I was like, oh, wow. You know, so that kind of hit me there, you know, that this fact was out there. And I thought about it, and to be honest, at that time I was thinking, well, maybe I should leave and find something else to do. But I couldn't, because I really found the place where I think I can be of assistance to my students, to sort of help them in, especially those that don't quite know what they want, because I was one of those students, right? I liked so many things, I couldn't settle on one thing. Because I remember my first work study job on campus was actually in the Department of Agriculture, and I really loved doing that. And then I got another job, another semester in the chemistry department, and I loved that too. So there were so many things that I liked, but I had people around me that helped me to use all those things that I liked and channel those into research. So I actually got into research by doing work study, and I found that I liked it. But not only that, I had people that made us pursue those things. So our department was really small at that time. So the few of us that were around, you were always sent to do some kind of presentation. It was an expectation from our professors, right? So because of that, I was really shy at that time, but it helped me so much in public speaking and gaining confidence and things like that. So all of those things that were poured into me, this job really provides me an avenue to be that person for the next generation. So I always called my department head at the time my science grandpa, right? And he too would say the same thing, right? So we, I think the key thing is, if anyone is looking for direction on what to do when it comes to STEM and how to encourage other students, I don't want that to be lost, right? Because there are always a small group of students where they're right in that middle where they're not quite certain what they want to do. They're multi-talented, but they will always need that assistance to get them to at least one or two areas that they really excel in. So for me, being in this department, even though my terminal degree is not in chemistry, it's in environmental toxicology, which is pretty interdisciplinary. And it suits me anyway, because I've always had that kind of mind, right? So I find that I like multiple things. And to be honest, it gives me a channel to sort of explore different things and be myself. I remember at Texas Southern, my advisor, Dr. Bobby Wilson, he was sort of more hands-off as an advisor. And that was good for me and my personality, because I like thinking out of the box, and he allowed me to do that. So for me, my experience has always been having people that allowed me to be myself. And that's what I try to do for my students now. So I volunteer with Chemistry Club. I do things with the ACS. So I always do the student poster judging, and for Sigma Xi, I do that as well. I also serve as our campus chapter secretary for Sigma Xi. Right now, I'm in the middle of creating a green chemistry class, because again, that's another area that I really find that my degree is applicable, and I like doing it. I always tell my students, whatever you do, even if it's difficult, right? You find what you love to do, because you'll do it even when it's hard, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate your candid presentation. Truly, you are all heroes in my eyes, especially the extra barrier of doing STEM. If the barrier exists even at a very young age, like one of the faculty members remarked, and in fact, another one has said, this might resonate with quite a few on our campus, because we ran a survey in regard to an NSF advanced proposal, and that is that at times I have been given more administrative rather than scientific responsibilities. We have received similar comments from quite a few faculty members here. So again, thanks for sharing your views. We are running out of time. So any questions from the audience? I don't want to consume all the time. Please put in the chat box your questions before we conclude in the next couple of minutes.
Please go ahead and add your questions, as Dr. Krish said, in the chat box. And if we conclude our session before your questions are answered, then just reach out to Dr. Krish or to Bobby Melvin, and we'll make sure that your question reaches the appropriate person. Again, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and thank you to our panelists as well. It's great to have insight to both the challenges and the successes that you have had. Something that is probably a strain of consistency across everything that everyone said, and that is perseverance no matter what happens. Find your passion. Be prepared to pivot. Don't be afraid to pivot. And something else that I think every one of you who spoke mentioned in some way or another, and that is be prepared to pay it forward. You want to make, what I've heard you all say is that you want the next group coming after you to have it just a little bit easier than you did. So thank you so much for your perseverance, for finding your passion, for being able to pivot and land where you are squarely here at Prairie A&M University, and for paying it forward. Thank you everyone again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time for the Research and Innovation Training Institute. And thank you also to our facilitators. Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.